Welcome to Playa del Carmen, Mexico, 60 kilometers south of Cancun, 60 kilometers north of Tulum. The purpose of today's video is to go out and check out the beach conditions here in Playa del Carmen. We're going to look at beach erosion. I have a little bit of information on that. We're also going to talk about the seaweed and sargassum situation. We're smack dab between Christmas and New Year. I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's to everybody out there. Beaches are looking awesome. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Just for context, we have a map here and I'll circle this section right here. This is the city of Playa del Carmen with the famous 5th Avenue with the ferry dock that goes over to Cozumel. But for the purpose of today, I'll circle this section right here. We are still up at the Fives Beach Hotel and Residences north of Playa del Carmen. We're gonna go for a walk and this will be my last week up here at the Fives. Let's go. Good morning from Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Another beautiful sunrise. Just gonna look down here to the bottom of the screen. You're gonna see these things called sand whales. Sand whales are these big rubberized compartments full of sand. The purpose of the sand whale is to prevent big waves from coming into the beach and beach erosion, taking the sand out. So I'm going to talk about them a little bit later on, but look at that water. It is the cleanest I have ever seen it. I've only been down here for 3 years, my 3rd year now. Been covering the seaweed situation, but this is the clearest I have seen the water and this is the clearest I have seen the beaches. The last couple years, my conclusions have been if you're coming down to this part of the world between Cancun and Tulum, there are millions of people coming down here for some sun and surf. You want to be coming down here between November 1st and maybe February 15th. That's when you're going to get the best water, in my opinion, and the best beaches. If you've followed me for the last 2 years, you have seen that probably after February 15th, the seaweed, also known as sargassum, comes into the beach and it makes it difficult to swim and enjoy the beaches. But look at that water. It is blue. That probably at its deepest point is between 8 and 10 feet. You can see the bottom. And there's a lot of fish kind of underneath this pier. This is the famous pier at the Fives Beach Hotel and Residences. We've been here, this is my 4th video here. You can kind of see some of the fish swimming around in there, and you see the pelicans. They come down and they feed on this fish, and it's fun just to swim in there. If you've seen any of my videos, sometimes I go snorkeling in there and you'll see a pelican come diving down right beside you, eating some fish with you. So the Fives is an awesome resort. Like I said, this will be my last video and seaweed update, beach kind of conditions video for this year. I'm going to head into Playa. We'll be in there. But look at that sun just kind of breaking through the horizon there. So I probably think it's about 7:30, 7:35. And another beautiful day, not a lot of clouds. And it has been a little bit cooler here in Playa del Carmen the last month or so, a little bit more rainy than normal. I've talked to all the locals. They said, yes, it's rainier and it's cooler than normal. But the purpose today is to look at these beaches. And these beaches, in my opinion, I've only been here for 3 years covering this, but when I come down for a few months, this is the best they have looked. So if you're between Christmas and New Year's right now and you're thinking about, hey, might want to go somewhere, get south, whatever, get some sun, this is a great part of the world, especially if you're fleeing the snow up north, whether it be northern US or in Canada. Met so many Canadians, so many Americans, a lot of English too here in the last few weeks. So look at that beach. I love the color of the sand here and the beaches are awesome. Let's change directions here. Now, we talked about those sand whales. You can see them out there. There's a guy doing a photo shoot here with a couple and their baby. Those sand whales basically prevent big waves from coming in and taking the beach away, beach erosion. Now, if you compare last week's video with this week's video, you can see there's a little bit more sand here. Now, sometimes the ocean taketh away the sand, but sometimes it also brings some in. Now, that's just Mother Nature. But I've also seen that there's some tubes or some hoses that are taking some sand beyond the sand whales there and pumping it into this area. So there were more rocks here visible last week when we did the walk than there is this week, and that's because probably twofold. Mother Nature is bringing some sand in, but also they are getting some sand from beyond the sand whales and bringing it in just to have a little bit more beach and some less rocks. The main purpose for me to be here today is to talk about the seaweed situation, sargassum, and see if anything's washing up here on the beach. And I'll say it again, this is the best the beaches have ever looked. There's a little bit of sea grass, but because of the weather lately, we've had a little bit more rain, a little bit more angry oceans and topsy-turvy and stuff coming in. We've also had minimal, like the tiniest bit of seaweed. We've also had some red algae. If you saw last week's video, we had a little bit more. But the reason I'm out here at sunrise is to make sure that nobody's cleaning anything up. I just want to see if people are cleaning up the beach, or is this just au naturel and this is what it looks like. And the last probably about 10-12 days I've been coming down here every morning at sunrise, and there's nobody here cleaning up the beach. So this is just the way the beaches are. This is what they look like in their natural form. Whereas come February, March, April, May, there are going to be thousands of people up and down this coast out here before sunrise cleaning up the seaweed to make it look as good as possible. Why? To maintain the tourist dollar that are coming in here and to make it an awesome experience for all the tourists. Now, this is just rock right here and a little bit of coral. I'm not sure what they would call it, but this is my last week being here, and the previous week there was more rock and they're pumping more sand in here, and nature is giving the beach more sand. So that's the general, what's happening with the general beach conditions right now. If you have any comments or questions, pop them in the comments section. I'm going to be heading down to Playa del Carmen next week, so my next video will be down there in Playa del Carmen, and I don't know, I'll probably go down to the end of Constituente in front of the Hilton and the Hyatt and do a walk that I've been doing for the last few years. Look at that sky, look at that sunrise, it is magical. I've seen more sunrises in my life down here in Playa del Carmen than anywhere else at any other time in my life. I'm looking back at the famous Fives Pier there. You see some rocks there. You see almost nothing on the beach regarding seaweed, seagrass, red algae, anything. These beaches are awesome. This is the best they're going to be this time of year. I've said it a number of times. If you're coming down here between November 1st and I say February 15th-ish, this is when you're going to get the best beaches. Now, the weather's been a little bit cooler than normal. Last year it was 26, 27, 28, like clockwork every day. Some of the evenings have gotten a little bit cooler here. That one night was as cool as 20. They're usually between 23 and 25. As a Canadian, beautiful for me. I'm still wearing a short sleeve shirt and some shorts and kind of going out even in the evening, and it's beautiful. So there it is, another beautiful morning in Playa del Carmen. Beaches look awesome. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. If you have any questions, pop them in the comment section. Next Saturday I will be reporting from a little bit south Playa del Carmen. Playa del Carmen is 5 kilometers south of the Fives Beach Hotel and Residences. I'm just going to say ciao for now, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for walking along with me this morning. Bye-bye.